I just got this Attack of the Clones Anakin in, and I am pretty excited to take a look at him. He looks great on the front of the box, but we need to find out if he's worth it. And actually, there's something cool with this one. So you can actually take this cover off. And Hot Toys, they always do that black outer box that is kind of boring. But look at this. They actually designed it kind of like a retro action figure. And man, I am so excited to take a look. We need to find out if this is worth it for you guys, because I think it might be worth it for me. Kind of my first, well, other than Jango Fett, my first prequel character. Excited to build a shelf, so let's take a look. As you all know, every good unboxing must start with the box, and actually I gotta bring the slipcover back in. Yes, I know it's pretty boring, just a basic black Star Wars one, but I just have to show you guys, this is MMS 677 Anakin Skywalker, 20-year anniversary of episode 2. Okay, now let's get this out of here. And we can look at the good box now, because this actually looks pretty cool. So like I said, it's a retro style. Reminds me of kind of like those old action figures I used to see in stores and stuff. And yes, this is celebrating that 20 years of episode 2. I, of course, am getting this a little late, so a little late to the party. But man, this is a figure I really wanted. So we got to take a look. And look, you see the figure right here. And actually, you know, you can just see the figure right there as well. So yeah, cool picture of the figure, but he's just right there. This is Anakin Skywalker, Star Wars Attack of the Clones. And actually, this whole piece, it's kind of interesting. It's like magnetic, so you can just open it up and see even more of the figure. So that's pretty awesome. But looking to the side real quick, we have another awesome image of Anakin, a bunch of stuff to read. If you want to pause and read, go ahead. But quickly going to the back, we have Anakin in his robes looking awesome. And yeah, that's basically everything for the box. Nice and quick today. In some of my more recent reviews, I've gotten some comments, you know, people don't care about the box too much, so I'm just going to get on with it today. But if some of you out there actually do like when I look at the box in detail, just let me know down in the comments. But we have Anakin right here. So starting off, there's this little tray that sits right up on him. You can see it has all the hands, 2 light up lightsabers that are going to remain in there. For the review, I'll light them up for you guys, but you know, by now, I'm not a big fan of Hot Toys light up lightsabers. Now opening up the box, you can actually see Anakin in there, so let's get him out here. I'm excited for this one. Right off the bat in my hand, his tunic feels so good. This is like a very nice microfiber material, so yeah, that's great. And yeah, that is Hayden Christensen, young Hayden Christensen, young Hayden Christensen. Try saying that 5 times fast. This already looks fantastic. I'm actually already really glad I have this one. This is definitely gonna look great with my Space Jesus Artisan Obi-Wan when that one comes in. And since I have that one on order, the only thing I need now is a Padme from episode 2, so I probably will have to track that one down. But we'll look at Anakin in a bit more detail coming up, so let's take a look at all the accessories now. Starting off with the boring accessories, you get a little junction box, the connectors for it, some wrist pegs, of course a little connector to actually connect the lightsaber to its belt, and then the little tool for eye maneuverability. So real quick, I have to show you the manual. The manual is pretty thick, as you can see. But actually, when you open it up, you can see a cool image of Anakin. I mean, doesn't look very cool if you don't stretch it out, I guess. But yeah, that looks kind of funny. But you can see Palpatine kind of in the back there. Then you can see Obi-Wan fighting Dooku. This is a really cool looking poster. So I really like that. And just one more time for fun. Yeah, there's Anakin. Now taking a look at his base. This is pretty nice, actually. It's, of course, a standard rectangle base, but it's kind of designed like the Droid Factory. So you can see up top here, it's kind of like that conveyor belt where Anakin, you know, almost lost his hand. He didn't lose it yet, but I guess they're foreshadowing him losing his hand in the factory. Then on the front, it says Star Wars Anakin Skywalker in a chrome, which you can't see if I do that, but you can see when I do that. Looks pretty nice. And one of the cool things about this is it actually comes with some other little pieces. So you can see these are kind of like little connectors for the base. It has some nice bronze coloring on it. You can see kind of like the silver. And getting these up close, there's a lot of nice little weathering. So these, I can't remember exactly what they are. They're kind of like droid arms. But basically what you do is you take these and you can just put them like on the front of the base, the side, basically where the heck you want. You can see if I put it on the side there, how it kind of slips in. So there's like that little piece there, just slips in there. And actually, see this little kind of like peg sort of piece, I mean thicker peg, it actually aligns with these, so you can actually like get it in a proper spot where it's pretty locked in. So yeah, these are pretty cool, pretty unique. I mean, not really necessary, but it just adds a little bit of flair to the base. And honestly, I'm glad they didn't just give us a basic rectangle base this time, although yes, kind of still basic, but at least we got these. And as you all know, of course, we got to put the crotch grabber in, so let's see how easy it is today. And wow, I'm getting good at this because that went in pretty easily. So yeah, just goes right in. Now let's actually take a look at his Jedi robe. So we'll put them on him in the actual figure overview section, but these are pretty nice. They feel really good, kind of like a microfibery type material. They do kind of collect dust because yeah, there's already some dust on them. You probably can see that on camera. I like them though. Okay, well, I've dragged it across all my hands, my bad. But it feels like it's nicely wired. Like this whole top part is wired, and then feels like these are all wired. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna display him with it yet. We'll just have to see. But I do like his robes, and they're pretty unique because it's just like some flaps that go over. There's not actually like arm sleeves or anything like that. So yeah, curious how they're gonna end up looking on him. And now, since I was kind of accidentally kicking them around, let's look at all his hands. So looking at these in detail real quick, you can see the nice vein work in there. You can see it's kind of like bluish green. Then you can see all the palms. There's not too many wrinkles. This is young Hayden Christensen, so don't expect his hands to look too old yet, but these look good. You get a left and right force push hand, left and right closed fists, left and right lightsaber wielding hands, which yeah, the fingers are pretty pliable, so should be pretty easy to get the blades in there. Then on the figure, you get a pair of kind of relaxed style hands. So spoiler alert, but Anakin actually loses his hand in Attack of the Clones, and this looks pretty good. It's like a swap out robot piece. It swivels, which, you know, it's kind of nice. I don't really see myself using this. I'll put it on him in the figure overview section, but it is nicely detailed. So you can see the gold looks very nice. And then there's like some wires in there. They don't really move. It's more just sculpted detail. And then I don't know what this is, but it doesn't move. The instructions even say, don't try to move this. It looks movable, but don't try it. Trust me. And yeah, doesn't articulate, doesn't do anything. So it's just a robot hand that honestly, it's probably going to go back in the box. Now we can take a look at the lightsabers Anakin comes with. So this is Anakin's lightsaber, and then this is just the random one that he got thrown in the arena. So of course, Anakin's lightsaber has blue blades, and the random one has green blades, but let's look at his first. So his lightsaber is very nicely detailed. It's nice and chrome. You can see all the little black details and everything in there. Then the random lightsaber, this one is girthy. Like, yeah, it's pretty thick. I mean, I guess compared to that, it doesn't look very girthy, but in hand, it just feels girthy. So you can see this one's nicely detailed as well. You can, of course, see like a seam line down it, and yeah, looks pretty good. Then, of course, you get the light up versions. I am glad that they actually give you a light up version of both, because for this one, I think I'm going to use both lightsabers, have them doing some cool swooshing poses or something like that, but we'll see. But real quick, before they're lit up, let's look at these little swooshing blades. So the green one looks pretty nicely saturated, same with the regular. And these blue ones look pretty nicely saturated as well. So yeah, they're going to look good even if they're not lit up. So I got the junction box plugged in, got the lightsabers glowing, and I will admit, it is actually very nice of Hot Toys to give you 2 ports. I mean, it makes sense, figures have 2 hands, and in most cases, if they have multiple lightsabers, they'll have 2. I am kind of curious if that the General Grievous figure that Hot Toys is making is going to have like 4. But for this figure, let's go ahead, decrease the lights. And yeah, you can see they're both glowing. So we have green and blue. And let's actually put the blades in. Oh yeah, this actually looks pretty good. So it looks better in person, but blue looks good. Green looks good. I really like that. You can see that glow. Man, do you all remember the scene when Anakin's actually fighting Dooku and, you know, the lights go out and they're just duking it out? So cool. Definitely go look up that scene if you don't remember, because the prequels are just so good. Now for another quick test, we have the blue and green swooshing blades. And man, even on camera, these look really good. So I know I said I'm not the biggest fan of Hot Toys light up features, but they've been getting better and these look pretty good. But that is not everything the figure comes with. So let's actually get that figure out here. So up first, let's look at that head sculpt. I think this has a pretty good likeness to a young Hayden Christensen. You can see the little Jedi braid there, even the little Jedi ponytail on the back. And actually, you can kind of see the line there. You can, of course, roll his eyeballs. So you just pop that off. It's held in place with a little magnet, and you can get to the little pegs in there. So let's move his eyes. So I just made it so he's kind of looking off to the side. But one thing with this expression is it's kind of pretty neutral. So if you want to bring some life to this figure, you definitely need to move the eyes. And actually, having him with a little bit of a head tilt with the eyes kind of looking up like that, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm excited to pose him. So let's finish looking at the outfit. So looking at his tunic, it's accurate to Attack of the Clones. Of course, he has a similar one in episode 3, but this one's a bit more of like a chocolate brown. The other one's a bit like a lot darker. If it's not black, it's more like a really dark brown. We'll take a look whenever I get that figure. But what's actually really cool, this is like a nice velvety material. There's actually wires in these cuffs, so you can kind of like, yeah, actually pose them. So that's pretty nice. Then underneath them, there's actually like this whole kind of almost band-aid feeling shirt. So also pretty cool. Then going down to his belt, it's nice and chrome right on the buckle. No, I'm not going to try if that actually comes off. He has some little like pouches on there, just sculpted. Not really, doesn't really feel plastic. More kind of like a, I don't know, maybe a look like rubbery material. Very interesting. Then yes, it's young Anakin, so he has to come with some little coloring pencils or crayons or something like that. Around the back, another pouch, more colored pencils. I don't know what those are, so just tell me. And yeah, you can take the belt off if you want to put all the wires through them. You can actually take the whole kind of outfit off. I'm not going to do it, but if you do plan on using the actual wired lightsabers, then the instructions do show how to do it. Man, I cannot speak today, but yes, there's another pouch on this side and it looks pretty good. And yep, you can actually hook his lightsaber in there. So unfortunately, one thing to call out as well is that these little tabards or whatever they're called, they're pleather. So presumably over time, they're gonna flake and stuff, which really sucks. Same with his belt. It's one of the unfortunate things. This figure looks amazing, but eventually it might flake. I haven't had any figures flake yet, but I just need to call that out for you because they eventually maybe will start using real leather, but they haven't done that yet. Now moving back on down, he has some brown pants on and he has some boots. Unfortunately, the entire boot is made of pleather as well, so these are probably going to flake over time as well, especially if you articulate them a bunch. And since the actual foot peg is inside there, it actually doesn't feel like you get a lot of movement. So maybe a little, but man, that's not great. So we'll see how he does in posing though. So now I actually want to swap his arm out and let me show you guys how to do this. So what you want to do is see the joint in here. You want to kind of gently just bend it backwards. It feels like it might break. Trust me, or well, don't trust me, but if it breaks, don't blame me. Yeah, it'll pop out. So it worked for mine. Hopefully it works for yours. That's the only way I found to actually take the arm out easily. But now with that one out, let's go ahead and swap this one in. You just kind of peg it in there and push it in. And as I suspected, not really worth it. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but realistically, who the heck is going to display their Anakin with the arm? Well, I'll do a pose with it, of course, but yeah, it's nice it's included. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to use it. Now, real quick, let's look at his robes. So his robes are a bit different. They have these kind of like flaps that kind of just lay over him like so. And yeah, that's basically it. Of course, if you want to put the hood up, it's wired. You can make it look good. I'll do a pose with it. But yeah, his robes are kind of odd. Not sure if I'm going to use them. We'll just see when I pose them. But speaking of which, let's pose him up. For the first pose, I just have him kind of looking at the new robot hand that he got courtesy of Count Dooku. So that robot hand looks kind of cool. But at the same time, I don't think I'm ever really going to use it other than right now for this pose. Like, I took advantage of me just putting it on there just for this pose, basically. And before I put him in the next pose, I'm taking that robot arm off and I'm putting it back in the box. I don't think I'm ever going to have him with it. It's kind of cool, you get it, but also kind of a waste, to be honest. So I decided to pose him with the robe, and this robe is really, really weird. So it's not like a typical Jedi robe. It's like two flaps, and then it like just kind of hangs over and has a hood, which the hood kind of goes on really weird as well. You can see I tried my hardest to kind of shape the hood around him with the wires, but it didn't end up looking too good. If you want to put the robe on him, I just don't recommend putting the actual hood on him. But the actual robe pieces do have wires in them, so you can shape it, have it slightly shaped like there's some wind. If I really want to do an action pose where he's kind of, slashing stuff, then, you could do that. The only time I kind of remember him using the robe in the movie, I think, was when he was going to save his mom, and yeah, we all remember how that turned out. So that's why he's looking pretty mad, pretty mean currently. But speaking of that scene, let's do another pose with the robe real quick. So for this pose, he's still wearing the robes and he looks pretty cool. I have him kind of force pushing, just using the single lightsaber for now. I feel like the single lightsaber kind of suits it because this is kind of his Sand People Slayer robes. That's what I'm just going to call him now. So he looks pretty awesome like this, but let's just take that robe off. I think it's going to go back in the box. Just let me know what you think down in the comments though. But for me, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. So real quick, I just wanted to make use of the base and actually just put them on it and test it out. So now for the pose, you can also see I'm using the dual lightsabers. So just want to do a quick one. And now I want to do the final pose, and I have a pretty cool idea, you know when he was fighting Dooku? Yeah, let's get him in like a dual lightsaber fighting pose. So this pose goes pretty hard. I don't know if I'm going to leave the swooshing blade on it when I put it in my display, because I think this is going to be the pose I go for. Yeah, I kind of love this one. It looks like he's about mid-fight with Count Dooku, still has both his arms, so that's good. And it just looks great. I love the actual like rolling eyeball feature on him, because the expression, it's kind of neutral, but when you move the eyeballs, you can make them look mad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the figure and let's give you all my final thoughts. If you're a Star Wars fan, especially a fan of the prequels, I'm sure you know who Anakin is, and I'm sure you're probably a fan of Anakin like I am. I really want to get as many Anakins as possible. I already have, and I'm upgrading my Clone Wars Anakin. Definitely going to get the episode 3 Anakin. Then I'm also getting the episode 3 Darth Vader, which has a Hayden Christensen head sculpt when he's pretty burnt. And then also the battle damage Vader, which also has that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Hayden Christensen as Anakin. And this figure, he's worth it. I am going to have to start a new shelf for him because I kind of want to make a prequel shelf. It might be mixed between different episodes, but for now it's just going to be Anakin and Jango Fett, but I do have the Artisan Obi-Wan on order, so whenever that one's released, yeah, we're going to have Space Jesus Obi-Wan kind of mixed up here with Anakin. So I really love this figure. Definitely let me know your thoughts on him down in the comments. Do you already have him? Do you think he's worth getting? And if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like and hit subscribe to do tons of fun stuff over here. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day, month, week, everything, and until next time, stay 6 scale.